For the front door, we have a set of JL 6x9s. They did not match the rear. Those are Kicker. These are JL. This one also has a hole in it. Yay. These aren't going back into the car. The rears are staying. The rear doors are staying. These are going bye-bye, which is good because it's ripped. The bracket on the front is going to stay because it is perfectly fine to use for our Kenwoods. So we don't have to change that there. We will change these, of course, because, yeah. This is pretty cool. We like to use insulated ends on ours, so we'll switch these out and get this all shined back up and looking fabulous. Moving on to the dash. The dash, as we can see here, has a JL tweeter in it using the 1 screw option. So there's just the 1 screw right there holding it, not one on the other side. Yep, no, just the 1 screw holding that into place. We'll pull that out and we're gonna put some Kenwoods up in the dash as well. So we have our work cut out for us as far as getting these speakers in place, functioning the way we want them. One other thing that we ran into that I thought was interesting, let's go back up to the battery. One of the things I was thinking about while I was taking all this stuff out was, I don't remember seeing a fuse holder. This is the power wire here, and it sits just like that, and it was hooked up to this, and it just kind of, yeah, there's nothing there. So that got me like thinking, where is the fuse holder? And we'll jam a light down in here, and there is the fuse holder. Just to put that in perspective, the fuse holder is all the way down there, which means if you have a blown fuse, I don't even, like, there's not even like an S bend in here. It's pulled tight, so you can't even get to this to service it. Like, that's it. There you go. What the heck is that? Like, who would do that? Obviously somebody would do it, but that's some cheesy stuff right there. I can tell you exactly what happened. They were pulling the power wire through the car. You know, they had this all like setting up here, and they just kept pulling, and then they went in the back. They didn't realize, like, they screwed up. I mean, that's the only thing that would make sense, is that they just started pulling it, thought, and then they cut the wire in the back, and then it occurred to them like, oh no, I don't have a fuse where I can get to it. Oops. And it's a 300 amp fuse. So it's almost like not even having a fuse. How cool is that? But hey, you got the one safety zip tie on, that's all that matters. And just like that, the door looks so much better. We've added in our connector here for the tweeter, so that if you need to take the door panel off, it easily just unsnaps both sides right here. The speaker is now properly mounted in place using the aftermarket bracket that fits the car. You don't have those 2-inch drywall screws anymore in there looking all cheesy. And if you're wondering, like, this is just like, this isn't cuts or anything. The foam is just getting powdery, and so like these are just little scratches in it. The speaker's still good. It'll do what we need it to do. What I mean by serviceability, just like the factory, can easily just clip it and unclip it. And if the window ever breaks or anything like that, you're not doing some ghetto stuff. And that brings us to the front door, which is now all set and ready to go. Got the Kenwood 6900, I guess would be. So part of the 6903 set, locked in place. Foam that comes in the box, so it has like a fast ring already in there, plus there's a whole bunch of foam for the back of the speaker, the front of the speaker. It's all foamed up, and we can get this door back into place. We've also done some investigation back here into figuring out what all these wires are and how they are going to help us or hurt us. These wires are signal of some kind, so this whole harness, really, that's just what it is, right? It's not a big deal. These, however, these are all of the rear speakers. Now, how this works, the radio powers the front 2 speakers, or the front 4 speakers, I should say, the 6x9s and what was in the dash. That's powered off of the radio on 2 pairs of wires. The rear doors are also powered off of the radio, so those come back to here. Now they also high level into this plug, and then that feeds these. So this would have been like the rear subwoofer, because the radio only has 4 pairs of outputs. So the extra 2 back here are coming off of the high level outputs of the rear. Kind of makes sense. Toyota does the same thing on their trucks. So once we've figured out where the amplifier is going to go and how we're going to route all our wires, then we'll address cleaning up that mess back there. Just understanding what everything is doing. So we know right off the bat, we need to run dash speaker wires. We just don't know where to yet. And we know we're gonna have to run wires from the back. We just don't know where to yet. It might make more sense to not even use either one of those harnesses and just run 2 new rear wires and 2 new front wires for the rear deck and the dash to the amplifier and negate using the factory stuff, and then just get behind the radio for the 4 doors. Having fun?
Oh, always having fun.
Always having fun. Getting those doors put back together so we can hop over to the passenger side. And I'm sure we'll run into the same thing over there. Dash speakers are now fully in. The 3.5 fits in there. It is a pain in the butt because you got a screw that's way all the way over here into the corner. But once you get that in, now we have a 3.5 that is going to provide us with the main vocal. And if you're keeping track, this thing had an obscene amount of tweeters in it, and that was one of his big complaints, is that it was just all tick, all hiss, and nothing else. By taking that tweeter out of the top of the dash, this is going to be crossed over somewhere between 350 and 400 as opposed to 4,000 or 5,000. So you're going to get a lot of vocal out of the top of the dash. Nice strong mid bass from those 6x9s in the bottom of the door. So we're going to get a really good front stage, and then in true 1990s fashion, we'll have a ton of rear fill going tickety tick boomity boom, so that this will sound great and bring him back to when he was in high school. I think he just wanted the sound though, not the install. He got both from the last guys, so hopefully we just deliver on a fantastic sound now. This is the passenger front seat, and the plan is to take the X2 808 and sit it underneath here like this. We're gonna need an amp rack. To design an amp rack, tape measure, pad of paper. What we need to do is come up with a general idea of what the shape of the amp rack is, which is this guy right here. And we just kind of sketch it out. And then what we wanna do is start adding in the dimensions of said amp rack. Once we've done that, we can then take it over to the laptop and we're gonna design it and make it an actual thing.